Loves, welcome back to Fun Fashion YouTube channel. In this video I will be sharing with you how to sew this trendy side gather dress. I attached an underskirt to make the dress puffy. If this is what you would like to learn how to sew, then you need to watch this video till the end. Please do well to like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and drop me nice comment. I'll be glad to read from you. In my previous video I showed how to draft and cut the dress pattern. If you would like to check out the tutorial, tell me in the comments and I'll send you the video link. In this particular video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut on your fabric and sew the dress. This is the fabric that I'm using for the project. It is a cotton fabric. You can use crepe or Ankara to achieve this, or even chiffon. I have 2.5 yards of the fabric here. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is to cut the side gathers. Remember that we had to cut out this part for the side gathers. I'll measure the side gather. I have 18 inches here, okay, from the hemline to where I trimmed it out from. I'm going to be cutting this side gather now. So to be able to do that, I'll add 1/2 inch for the joining here and 1/2 inch for the hemming, which means that I'm going to be having 19 inches in length. So I will be cutting out 19 inches in length for the pleats. Okay, so I'll get my fabric. I'll be cutting out 19 inches. This is the side that is in yardage, and then this is the side that is in length. Okay, this is by 60 inches in length. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to measure out 19 inches. Okay, depending on how full you want your dress to be, you can cut one piece, one single piece, or two. I have 1, 2, 3 now. So what I'm going to do now is to divide one by 2 and join to the other one. So I'll get this one. I divided the third piece by 2 and join each to the other pieces because I want much fullness to the side gathers. So after joining the pieces together, this is what I have. Remember that I had to cut one part into 2 and then join to the other one. So I have 2 pieces now for the 2 sides. So I'll bring them together and then I'll fold it into 2 equal parts. Fold the 4 edges of the fabric together and arrange properly, making sure that all the sides of the fabrics are equal. I'll get my side pattern. So I'll keep one aside because they are basically the same thing. I ruled out straight lines on the side pattern paper so that I could cut and spread on my fabric. You're going to be using slash and spread method to achieve this. You can cut your paper in bold or tiny lines. Make sure that you label them down. Then spread on your fabric, pin them down, and go ahead and cut out. After cutting the side gathers, I had to place the front and the back block on the remaining fabric. And I added seam allowances. Okay, I added 1/2 inch joining seam allowance at the dart area, the neckline, and the down part of the bodice. Then for the sides, I added 1.5 side seam allowance for the side, both for the front and the back. Okay, then for the middle of the back, I added 0.75 as the zipper allowance. All right, so I'll go ahead now and cut. You can see that the front block is on fold, so place yours on fold as well. Then watch as I am cutting. So this is what I have now. I'll place on my linen fabric and cut my linen. After cutting the linen pieces, this is what I have. I'll go over to my sewing machine now and join the dart lines. Okay, I'll also join the dart line for the linen pieces, and I will install the zipper for the back. Okay, for the side gather, I also went ahead to cut the linen pieces for the side gathers. This is optional. If you want, you can decide not to add linen to yours. As you can see, I have already stitched the dart lines and I went ahead to press the seam lines open. Can you see? For the back, I also went ahead to install the zipper, right, with the zipper allowance, that is 0.75 zipper allowance. And for the lining pieces, I also went ahead to join the dart line, okay. So this is what I have. I'm going to be fixing in the strap, okay. This is the strap that I've made. To be able to make this, you need to cut out a long piece of about 2.5 inches or 2 inches. I folded it and stitched on it to have this. So I cut about 6 pieces of this, 3 for one strap and then 3 for the other strap. After stitching on it, you need to use a fabric turner to turn it inside out, okay. So you have this, okay. You have about 3 of this. That is how I got this. Then I went ahead to braid it. You make your braids like so. All right, this is optional. If you want, you can fix it like this if you don't want to make braids. So that is how I made my braids. So what I'm going to do is to get that strap that I cut from my pattern. This is the strap that I cut from my pattern. So I'll place it here and cut my strap to the length of that pattern, okay. I'll pin them together. That is the front and the back pieces. I'll pin them together by the sides so that I can join them by the sides. I have already marked down my side seam allowance and 1.5 side seam allowance on both sides. So I'll go over to my sewing machine now and stitch on the markings, okay. For the lining pieces, I have also marked down the side seam allowance. So I'll also stitch on the side seam allowances and I'll come back. So after stitching on both sides, this is what I have. So I'm going to be fixing the strap now. So this is the strap that I have already braided. Okay, can you see? I'm going to go ahead now and pin it down on the bodice. So I will start from this dart after the dart line because that is where my strap started from. So I'll pin it down. I'll also pin the back. So what I'm going to do now is to turn the neckline over with the lining pieces, okay? So I'll join the lining to the fabric like so. So I'll make sure that all the dart lines align, like the dart line of the lining and the dart line of the dress align, okay? And I'll also make sure that the middle front of the bodice align with the middle front of the lining. This is it. So I'll go over to my sewing machine now and stitch them together. I'll start stitching from the zipper, then to the back neckline, and I'll also stitch on the front neckline, okay, and then to the other side, okay. After joining the lining pieces and the fabric together, this is what I have. So you have to go ahead and clip on the fabric so that it can lay flat when you turn to the right side, okay. After that, flip your fabric to the right side and go over to your ironing board and give the neckline a good press in order to make the neckline lay flat. So the next thing I will have to do is to stitch the lining pieces and the main fabric together by this side, okay. Then again, I'll have to measure the sides so that I'll also pleat my side gathers, okay. I'll measure what I have from the hemline of the back to the side and then to the hemline of the front. I have 45 inches. If you can remember, these are the pieces that we cut for the side gathers, okay? One will be for this side and one for the other side. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and pleat on it. As you can see, I have already run gather stitches on the fabric, okay? I started from where the curve started from, okay? That is where I'm going to start my pleating. I'm not going to pleat the downside, okay. I'll go ahead and gather my fabric into 44 inches each. Okay, 44 inches for this side, and then this into 44 inches for the other side. And from the middle part, because I indicated the middle part of my pleats, so I'll also pin to the side line of the bodice with the right sides facing each other. After pinning, this is what I have now. So I'll go over to my sewing machine now and stitch on both sides to join them together. What I have after joining the side gathers, I'm going to be cutting the sleeves. This is the remaining fabric that I have, and it is in two. So I'll fold again into four. Then I'll measure the strap. So I have 6.75. I'll mark down 6.75. Okay. From here, I'll mark down 9 inches. This is what I have. I'm going to hem the sides. Okay. Then after hemming, I will pleat to the both sides. Okay, so that I can have something like this. So this is the lining piece for the side gathers. Okay, so I want to add hard net to it so that it can be puffy. I will fold my net and cut about 7 inches depending on the length of your lining pieces. Okay, so I'll cut out 7 inches. So I have about 3 pieces of this hard net. The first piece should be the same width with your lining piece. Okay, my lining piece is shorter than the main fabric. So if your lining piece is the same thing with your main fabric, that means you need to cut this first layer into the same width with your lining piece. Okay, then the other two layers, it should be double of the first layer. So I'm going to join them together and pleat into this size. Okay, so I'll measure it. I have 59 inches here, so I'm going to pleat these two into 59 inches. After pleating, then I stitch it together with that one that I did not pleat. So what I'm going to do now is to mark down 1 inch on my lining piece from the top, and then I'll stitch the hard net down on that 1 inch marking that I have marked. After stitching the hard net to the lining, this is what I have. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to pleat the lining pieces into the side gathers. Okay, as you can see, I have already pleated and joined this side together. After pleating the linen, you have something like this. So what I'm going to do next is to go on and join to the side gathers on the dress. Okay, like you see me doing in the video. This is what I have after stitching the linen to the fabric. This is what the inside looks like. So for the sleeves, this is the sleeve. I have already pleated it. Okay, I pleated the edges into 1.5. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to come here and pin down the sleeve after the strap that they are fixed already. So I'll pin it down. I will pin down the sleeves on both the front and the back bodies, that is after the strap. I'll go on now and stitch on the sleeves. Okay, I'll just run a straight stitch to secure the sleeve down to the dress on both sides. After that, I'll also hem the hemline. I will go ahead now and iron the dress and rock it. Don't forget to hit on the subscribe button if you have not. Turn on your notification bell so that anytime I upload a new tutorial, you'll be notified. Share this video to your sewing group so that other sewmates can watch and learn. See you in the next video.